9 experienced hikers vanished in one of the coldest places on Earth. Weeks later, rescuers found their tent sliced open from the inside. The group had fled barefoot into the freezing night. Some were found frozen where they fell. Others had injuries so disturbing that people still argue about them today. Nearly 70 years later, has the Dyatlov Pass mystery finally been solved? In January 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out on a skiing expedition through the Ural Mountains in what was then the Soviet Union. They weren't amateurs. Most were university students with years of hiking experience, and their route was considered difficult enough to earn the highest certification available. Their leader was 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov. The expedition was carefully planned, and before leaving, Igor promised to send a telegram once the group safely reached the end of their journey. At first, nobody was worried. Winter expeditions often took longer than expected, but days passed, then weeks. Eventually, concerned family members and friends demanded a search. Rescue teams headed into the mountains, expecting to find the group delayed by bad weather. What they actually discovered would become one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. The first clue was their tent. It was still standing on the snowy mountainside, but something was terribly wrong. The entrance hadn't been unzipped. Instead, the fabric had been slashed open from the inside, as if the hikers believed escaping immediately was more important than taking the extra few seconds to use the door. Even stranger, almost all of their winter clothing, boots, and supplies had been left behind. Outside the tent, investigators found footprints leading away into the darkness. Some of the prints were made by people wearing only socks. Others appeared completely barefoot. The temperature that night was estimated to be around -30 degrees Celsius. Survival without proper clothing would have been almost impossible. So why would 9 experienced hikers voluntarily leave the safety of their tent in the middle of a freezing blizzard? Following the footprints downhill, rescuers found the first 2 bodies beneath a large cedar tree. They had attempted to build a small fire, but it wasn't enough. Nearby branches had been broken several meters above the ground, suggesting someone had climbed the tree, possibly trying to see back towards the campsite. Between the cedar tree and the tent, 3 more bodies were discovered. It looked as though they had been trying to make their way back to the camp before collapsing in the snow. But the remaining 4 hikers were nowhere to be found. And the mystery was only beginning. Nearly 2 months later, the final 4 bodies were discovered buried beneath several meters of snow inside a nearby ravine. Unlike the others, these hikers hadn't simply frozen to death. Their injuries shocked the investigators and fueled decades of speculation. One victim had devastating chest injuries. Another had a fractured skull. One woman was missing her tongue, while another was missing parts of her eyes. Yet strangely, there were very few external wounds. It looked as though they had suffered the force of a serious car crash, without any obvious impact. As news of the case slowly spread, theories exploded across the world. Some believed the hikers had been attacked by escaped prisoners. Others blamed secret Soviet military experiments. Then came stories of UFOs, mysterious lights in the sky, and even the legendary Yeti. The strange injuries only added fuel to the rumors. Some clothing was found to contain traces of radiation. Witnesses reported seeing glowing orange lights in the sky around the same time. And Soviet authorities suddenly closed the entire area, making people wonder what they were trying to hide. For decades, the official investigation concluded only that the hikers had died because of an unknown compelling force. It wasn't an answer at all. It simply acknowledged that whatever happened on that mountain couldn't be explained with the evidence available at the time. Then, more than 60 years later, scientists scientists decided to revisit the mystery using modern technology, computer simulations, and avalanche research. Their conclusion challenged almost every conspiracy theory that had been circulating for decades. But did it really explain everything? So, was the Dyatlov Pass mystery finally solved? Or is there still something we're missing? I'd love to know what you think. Do you believe the avalanche theory? Or do you think something else happened on that mountain that night? Let me know your theory in the comments. And remember, because sometimes the truth really is beyond strange.